size you want it. You cut it. And then I usually make a loop that has a hole in it, just so that your keyring has a spot to go through. And I will show you how I do that. So normally, I would fold it what size I want it, and then I would mark it with a pen sometimes. And if your rope, when you cut it, frays, I suggest using a lighter and making it so it doesn't. Then you take your glue, you put some on here, but make sure you don't put it all the way, otherwise you're gonna not have your loop. And which I did, I just put too much glue on there, but as long as you have enough room that you can get your ring through it. Now that's where the clip comes in. And just like that, you just clip it so it holding it together. Every now and then I move it just so that it's pushing all over it. But usually by the time I'm done gluing the other side, or measuring and cutting to put glue the other side, I usually just start working. But some people like to wait 24 hours just because that's what the instructions is on the glue. But however, I don't do that. Then your next step would be to thread your needle, and I like to double mine, and that's where you take your beeswax and just run your thread through it, and it helps with not knotting as much, that I find anyways. I do it a couple times. And at the opposite end of where your needle is, you'll tie a couple knots in the end. One, two. I'll do three just because those knots didn't line side by side. Then that's what it should look like after the glue is dried. Then you just come up and go through the rope as close as you can to this end part. Then there is another way if you don't want to have it so it's a double looped at the bottom, like this, and you can, instead of looping the other one, you would just put it there, which I preferably haven't tried yet. And I make my thread about an arm's length, so that would be 2 arm lengths just because I doubled it. And then depending on what colors you use and how many you use, I like to use from 4 to 5 just for design, but it's totally up to you. You can use 1 color, you can use 2 colors if you want. You can always go on Pinterest to look up designs. So I usually start off with 20 beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And I am using size 11 beads. Really, you can use any size beads you want. You can cut off the extra thread if you want, but some people like to use it just to hold. And so, I got 20 beads on my thread, and depending on which way you like to hold, is the way that you will put your beads on. So you're just wrapping it around the rope. I try not to hold the beads really tight, otherwise sometimes it doesn't come out flat looking, so I leave a little bit of playroom on there and just hold it, and then you can move it around and push it up just so it's tight. And right where that last bead is, this will get easier to show you once I start getting further along. But see, we are going this way, so with my needle, I'm going to go this way with my needle from this last bead that's there, and I'm going to come out behind at least 2 or 3 of the beads. I don't know if you can see that very well. I should have used a different color. But then we're just coming through back the way that we're wrapping. I will have pictures and to send with this video just so that you can see it a little easier. Then again, we're doing another 20 beads. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and I ran out of white on my belt, so I usually only take one strand off at a time. It's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Once you get more comfortable in the hang of it, and that you can start going with more beads. Like some people do 40, some people do 60. But right now I prefer just doing 20 because it seems to be a little tighter and more manageable for me. So again, you don't hold it as tight. Then you just wrap it around. And again, we're going this way, wrapping. So that means my needle is going to go through the rope, and end up behind 3 beads. And then we'll be going back through 3 beads. And I will show you how to do a simple design. So one of my shades, I chose to do the darkest shade of purple first, and I'll put 11 beads on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I put 11 purple on. and then I'll put on another 10. So that would be 20 beads, well, 21 beads. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it will differ between what size ropes you use. But with the size of rope I'm using 10 wraps around the rope nicely. So again, you're just wrapping and see how the purples line up. And then again, we're going this way with the beads. So we'll be going back that way with the needle. And we'll be coming behind 3 beads again, going through the rope to the 3rd bead. And then coming back and going through. And then you do your next color. So I decided to do a little lighter shade of purple. So again, you do another 10. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 11. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And before I put the white beads on, I will check it first, just to see that they do line up, and there it closes the gap there. And then I will put 10 more white beads on. 3, 6, 9, 10. And so again, we just wrapping it around. And we're going this way with the beads. So then that means we'll go this way with the needle and come out behind 3.